Don't forget to subscribe to Panda Outdoors. Do it now.
Okay folks, so this is just another episode of Panda Outdoors and 4x4. So as you can see behind me, we have got a new 4x4. This is going to be more of a family car, but I'm still going to put a set of off-roady tyres on it and maybe a snorkel for when the kids get a little bit older and we start taking out on a bit more adventures. So take them for picnics or whatever, off the beaten track, down some green lanes, nothing too heavy. So on Monday it went in for the MOT, it passed. All I got an advisory on was one of the rear tyres, but I've got a set of 4 new tyres to go on there, some off-road tyres that I'm going to put on, and the MOT tester told me jet wash the chassis off, give it a clean, let it dry and then treat it with oil. So this is just going to be an easy video on, you don't have to use expensive oil treatments on your chassis, okay? Especially if you're on a bit of a budget. What you can do is you can use old engine oil, believe it or not. People are going to comment, no you can't, this and that in the comments, but yes you can. Okay, the guy who's got the MOT station behind me, who owns the place, old fella, he's like 80 odd. That's how he used to treat all of his chassis years ago, and it does work. If anyone knows about engine oil, it does work. I know people who paint stable doors in it to stop the rot. It's a good way of recycling the old oil, and one, it prevents your chassis from rotting and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, you can get all the expensive stuff, the wax oils and stuff like that, but if you're on a budget, pop to your local garage, see if they've got any waste oil, and all you need is an old Schultz tin and a Schultz gun, and you can oil your chassis. So on this video, all I'm going to do is take you along and show you me basically oiling the chassis and giving it a clean. So what I'm going to do is get a wire brush for any of the hard bits, but first of all I'm going to put the jet wash on a hot wash and blast it all, and then I'm going to let it dry. So the first bit you're going to see is me jet washing it, and then in a day later when it's all dried, I'll oil it all up. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed this little video. So as you've just seen there, I've just jet washed all the crap off. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to go at it with a wire brush before we basically use old engine oil and underseal it all. What I'm going to do, while I've got it up in the air, I might as well fit the new tyres. So I know you've already seen a tyre fitting video, so I won't put it in, but I'll bring you back in a sec. When the new tyres are on, drive it around for the next day, let it all dry, then we'll give it a nice wire brush, get any other loose little bits of crap off. Once it's all dry, then I'll go give it a nice coat of engine oil. As I say, this isn't going to be heavily off-roaded at all. This is just going to be, if we're ever out and about, or I've got the kids with me and we want to go down the meadow in the farm, we can get down to the meadow. So it's not an off-roader, it's not going to be a green laner, it's pretty much the family car, but I want it to be a little bit capable. 1, for emergencies, and 2, if we ever go out anywhere, at least I know if we're out on a day out, nice little green lane with a picnic spot, I can dart down it and have a nice little afternoon. That's why I bought a little pop-up gazebo that's going to live in this, and we can put it out, go to the beach or anything like that. I know I've got decent tyres to get me on and off the sand, and I probably will put a few other mods on it as well, so stay tuned for this. And later on, coming up in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be an update on the Disco one. It needs a lot more work than was originally told to me, so it's going to be a longer process. A little bit gutted about it, a little bit disheartened at how bad it is, but we'll see what happens with that. I don't know whether I keep it or scrap it and start again. I'm in two minds, but I'll bring this back when I decide what I'm going to do with that. I've just bought a new sill for it, but I don't know whether to cut my losses or what. But stay tuned and I'll bring this back on updates on the D1. Okay, so I'll bring this back in a sec when the new tyres are on. So as you can see, these are the new tyres. Loads of grip on them. I did get them second hand on a set of rims for the Discovery 2, but all good. So it's back on. Let's get it sat down on the floor and I'll show you what they look like with them all back on the floor. Okay, so as you just seen then, the wheels were on. It's the next day, so we've just come inside the garage now. As you can see, it's up in the air, and we're just going to oil it. So this is free, so garages will give you oil, old engine oil. Okay, all people are going to tell you in the comment most probably, that you should use wax oil, this and that and the other, but the guy who owned this garage is 80 odd, early 90, and he gave me this tip years ago, and I've done it with every transit van he owned, every bit of a shit box that I've ever owned, and I oil it. It just prevents the rust. So yeah, there is better products out there, but there's nothing cheaper than free. So as you see, all I'm using is, I'll just bend down and get it, is a bit of old engine oil that we've drained out of a car. And I've just got an old Schultz tin, an old underseal tin, and all I've done is I've just filled it full of oil, and then I'm just going to spray it all over the chassis, and it'll prevent the rust. So this is just an old trick that a lot of old school mechanics and that use, especially the older fellas. But as well, like, if you mix that with a bit of creosote, your fence will never rust either, believe it or not. I know people who've got farms and they spray the stable doors with oil and mix with creosote, so it smells like creosote, but it is 90% oil, and nothing rots. So it is good, and it's using something that you've only got to try and take to the tip to recycle or pay somebody to use it. So I'm using a bit of free engine oil. So, as you've seen, that was me just oiling the chassis, cleaning it, oiling it. What you've never seen was any hard bits that went out of it with a wire brush and a drill. So, very inexpensive way of doing it. I'd say go into anybody, any old garage or anything like that, or next time you do a service, just keep your oil. But there is better options, there's a lot better ways of treating your chassis, but that's a free option. cost me nothing. Even if I do that every 2 to 3 months, 4 months, it's costing nothing. All you need is an old under-seal tin and a Schultz gun to do it, and an airline, spray it on. You might get away with using one of them electric sprayers, but I don't know. But that's just a quick video on me showing you the new Disco 3, me putting the tyres on. You've all seen the tyre video before, you didn't need to see them, and me cleaning and putting a bit of rust prevention on the chassis. All it is again is a bit of old engine oil, okay? Not an expensive, cost me nothing. It was just going to go to the recycling place, and the garage just got to pay to get rid of it. So I've reused it once it all dries. Again, if I do it in 3 months time or 6 months time, this isn't going to be getting heavily off-roaded. It might just go to farm every now and again, but that's about it. So that's just a little budget friendly way to treat your chassis basically. So I hope this video has been helpful. Anyone that's got a comment anything negative about you should use wax oil and all that, I don't want to know, don't really care. I've been doing this on vehicles for as long as I've had vehicles, and so have the lads who are a lot older than me, the owner of the place. He's the same, he's in nearly 90, he does it, and as well, it works. There's better options, but this is free. Okay, so I've been Panda, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you out on an adventure sometime. Take care now, and goodbye.